Not everybody. And statistical and analysis officer. Basically, we will see what are the statistical statements that are being compiled by statistical branch. And basically, of all our statistics is based on the statistical units. There are three statistical units based on which all our statistics are primary, fundamental, and derivative statistics. So when we speak of primary statistics, we take quantity, distance, duration, and service. These four concepts, when they are expressed in our statistical language, it is called primary units. So all our statistics, whatever work is done in railways, are based on these four factors: quantity, distance, duration, and service. And so these four items are called primary units. So quantity is expressed in terms in number of tons, number of passengers, that is how many tons is loaded and how many passengers have traveled. And earnings, what are the earnings, passenger earnings, goods earnings, other coaching earnings, and so on. So distance is expressed in kilometers and duration is expressed in terms of hours and days. Then it will be period, month, year, etc. And service is expressed in terms of trains, that is coaching trains, goods trains, vehicles means passengers travel in this thing, and wagons and engines. So these four factors are called primary units. Then we will come to fundamental units. Fundamental units is nothing but when we multiply one primary unit with another related primary unit, that we call it as fundamental unit. So when two units, primary units are linked together to denote joint consumption, it is called as fundamental units. Please explain.
गौतम, ये पहला हमारा था ना, वो नहीं जा रहा है।
ओके, अभी स्टैटिस्टिकल यूनिट्स है, इसमें क्या होता है, प्राइमरी यूनिट्स करके बोलते हैं। तो क्वांटिटी, डिस्टेंस, ड्यूरेशन एंड सर्विस, इस चार सर्विस को अपन प्राइमरी यूनिट्स करके बोलते हैं। आप देखें तो क्वांटिटी नंबर ऑफ टन्स, जो माल डिब्बा अपन वेट डालते हैं उसको नंबर ऑफ टन्स, और पैसेंजर्स और अर्निंग्स, इसको क्वांटिटी अपन में एक्सप्रेस करते, डिस्टेंस अपन किलोमीटर्स में एक्सप्रेस करते, ड्यूरेशन हावर्स, डेज, साल, मंथ, पीरियड, 10 दिन, ऐसा। सर्विस अगर माल डिब्बा या पैसेंजर गाड़ी, वैगन्स, व्हीकल्स, इंजन, ऐसा। फंडामेंटल यूनिट्स अपन एक प्राइमरी यूनिट को दूसरा प्राइमरी यूनिट, रिलेटेड प्राइमरी यूनिट से मल्टीप्लाई करते हैं, उसी को अपन फंडामेंटल यूनिट्स कहते हैं। फॉर एग्जांपल, अभी टन इज इनटू किलोमीटर्स, 20 कैन्स, उसको अपन टन किलोमीटर्स करते हैं।
इसमें सर पीपीटी दिखाई नहीं पड़ रहा है।
हाँ, क्या
पीपीटी से दिखाई नहीं पड़ रहा है।
पीपीटी से दिखाई नहीं,
स्क्रीन में आप जो लेक्चर दे रहे हैं सर।
ओके सर,
अभी दिखाई दे रहे क्या?
हाँ
हाँ, यस यस
किसका मुझे कंटेक्स्ट ले रहा है। मल्ली ओके, रेलवे यूनिट्स स्टैटिस्टिकल यूनिट्स है, इसका प्राइमरी यूनिट्स करके बोलते हैं क्वांटिटी, डिस्टेंस, ड्यूरेशन एंड सर्विस। व्हेन दिस कांसेप्ट आर एक्सप्रेस्ड इन स्टैटिस्टिकल लैंग्वेज, इट इज कॉल्ड प्राइमरी यूनिट्स। So primary units का एग्जांपल है, the examples for primary units, when the quantity is expressed in number of tons, जो माल डिब्बा में अपन कितना वेट डालते हैं, then earnings और कितना पैसेंजर ट्रैवल करा, then distance किलोमीटर्स में अपन बोलते हैं, duration is expressed in terms of hours, समय, duration समय, hours, days, month, year, period, ऐसा। सर्विस बोलते हैं माल डिब्बा, पैसेंजर गाड़ी या माल डिब्बा गाड़ी, व्हीकल्स, वैगन्स और इंजन्स। और फंडामेंटल यूनिट्स है, when we multiply one primary unit with another related primary unit, it denotes the joint consumption and it is called fundamental units. अगर आप एक प्राइमरी यूनिट को दूसरा रिलेटेड प्राइमरी यूनिट से मल्टीप्लाई करते हैं उसे आप फंडामेंटल यूनिट्स करके बोलते हैं. एग्जांपल है टन्स इनटू किलोमीटर्स. टन्स जो माल डिब्बा में कितना अपन वेट भरते हैं इनटू डिस्टेंस, नंबर ऑफ टन्स लोडेड इन wagons into distance traveled. So it will be 10 kilometers और passenger into kilometers. तो passenger जितना दूर वो लोग जाते हैं टिकट लेके सभी पैसेंजर को उसको passenger into kilometers आपको passenger kilometers मिलता है. Then wagon into kilometers. जो माल डिब्बा गाड़ी कितना wagon number of wagons, अगर एक गाड़ी में 50 वैगन है और वो 100 किलोमीटर जाता तो 50 into 100 वो वैगन किलोमीटर्स. 50 into 100 is equal to 5000 वैगन किलोमीटर्स. Similarly, vehicle into whatever the distance it travels. Similarly, when a vehicle is 24 and if it travels 100 kilometers, vehicle kilometers will be 2400 kilometers. Then train into kilometers. So a train consists of vehicles or wagons. So for example, if you take a goods train and you have 50 wagons in that goods train, that 50 wagons you have and it travels 100 kilometers. But you should not take number of wagons into account. Just the train, what is the distance traveled by a train from starting to end. If it travels 100 kilometers, train kilometers will be 100. Then engine kilometers. Engine kilometers is distance traveled by the engine. Suppose if a train has 2 engines, so our engine and it travels a distance of 100 kilometers. So engine kilometers will be 100 into 2, that is 200 kilometers. One train, if it has 2 engines, it will travel. Engine kilometers will be 200, but train kilometers will be only 100. If the train has 3 engines, it will be 300 kilometers. Then train, similarly, we can work out hours also. Train into hours is equal to train hours, and engine into hours is engine hours. Again, similarly, suppose if we have 3 engines, we take engine hours of all the 3 engines. If it is 2, we take the engine hours of both the engines. So wagon days, wagon into number of days. So wagon days, how you will work out is, suppose I'm working in South Central Railway, so I'm having about 10,000 wagons. So out of 10,000 wagons, I dispatch 5,000 wagons to other railways, that is Southern Railway, Central Railway, my neighboring railways. Then I get 4,000 wagons from that railway. So my average per first day it will be 9,000. So this exchange will take place on every day. So at the end of the month, I will add the number of wagons available with South Central Railway. First day it will be 9,000. Next day it might be 9,500. Sometimes it will be more than 11,000. Sometimes it will come to 7,000. So for all the 30 days or 31 days for that particular month, I will add, and I will divide by number of days in that month. Then you will get average number of wagons per day. So it's similar for locos. Number of locos, that is how many locos I am having and how many locos I am sending it to other railways and how many locos I am receiving. So I will calculate that for all the 30 days in a month, 1, 2, 3, and then divide by 30. Then compound or derivative units. So if I divide one primary unit or fundamental unit by another related primary or fundamental unit, I get compound or derivative unit. Yeah, your vehicle means carriage. Vehicle means carriage, and wagon means generally carriage. That is, we take passengers into account, and wagons means it is used for goods. And here we see that is example of derivative unit. Passenger engine is a primary unit, and passenger carriage, that is also a primary unit. So you get average earnings per passenger. Then passenger earnings is a primary unit, and we will divide it by passenger kilometers. That is, passenger earnings is a primary unit. Passenger into kilometers, it is a fundamental unit. You will get average earnings per passenger kilometer. Average earnings per passenger per kilometer. Then passenger kilometers, it's a fundamental unit. passenger into kilometer by number of passengers. That's a primary unit. We get average distance traveled by passengers. Then wagon kilometers, wagon into kilometers, goods, the train kilometers, goods into kilometers, number of goods train into kilometers. We get average number of loads per wagon per train. That is 50, 48. So, any doubt? Would close time. So that's all about the statistical limits. We'll go to the next topic. Okay, next we'll see a combined trend report. This all operating statistics is based on this combined trend report. It is prepared by drivers and guards. Okay, next we'll see about combined trend report. This combined trend report is prepared by driver and guard, and all the operating statistics, important operating statistics, is based on the combined train report. So it has it has part 1 and part 2. So part 1 is filled by the driver and part 2 is filled by the guard. So generally what happens when the driver or guard is booked for the train, they go to the crew booking lobby. So from lobby, he is given 3 or 4 forms. In the 3 or 4 forms, he will enter all the details of his name, his PF number and all. And then he will write the train number, what the train is, from where, from which place to which place it is going, and so on. Then he will give it to the guard. So guard, after taking that, he will write all the details. How many wagons are attached to the wagons or vehicles are attached to the train, and what is the weight of the train? How many wagons are there? So what is how much tons it is being loaded? 5,000, 6,000, etc. Then and he will be the guard system. As and when the train moves, and suppose if it stops at any place, he will note the time, at what time it will stop, and again when it is starting. So after performing the journey, he is given generally 2 or 3 sets of forms. Then again he will perform the return journey. So sometimes he will have 4 or 5 days. After filling all the forms, then from where he has started, we will hand over that forms to that crew lobby. So crew lobby, that basically one form it is sent to statistical branch, and one form it is used for their overtime allowance, mileage allowance, and all those allowances. All the allowances is based on this CTR forms. In the statistical branch, mute completely. Mute completely. So in the statistical branch in South Central India, we have 6 divisions and where all this data is entered. But in most of the railways, there is only one statistical district, that is in headquarters, and there the staff will enter all this data: engine number, engine weight, gauge, service, then engine owning shed. Suppose which railway it is on. Suppose if it is Southern Railway, whether it is E-Road or Krishnarajapuram, etc. Then traction, whether it is diesel or electric section. Suppose if you take some 100 kilometers, it will have 3 or 4 sections. If I take secondary to Kazipet, so secondary
तू काढली होती का प्रिंट काढली होती का? मग मी सही मारून देतो. मी चाललो आता स्टेशनवर. अरे गाडगी सरांनी त्यांना म्हणलं होतं ते शिकवायचं आहे. करेक्शन केलं पण प्रिंट नाही केली. बरं मग देईन. काढायची आपल्याला.
Then traction, then it will have 3 or 4 sections. We'll take that section into account. And distance of the each section, 10 plus 50, 60, whatever it is. Engine hours, already I have told you what is engine hours. Then train engine hours, shunting engine hours. So shunting engine hours is basically it will help the train from shed to the station, etc. Fuel, how much fuel is issued at the beginning of the journey and at the conclusion of the journey. Service rendered, whether it's passenger goods, etc. Then train number of trains run, number of PCVs, like passenger coaching vehicles, other coaching vehicles, etc. Number of loaded wagons, number of empty wagons, number of bakemans, section distance, gauge, then tear turns. That is what is the tear turns of all the wagons, then tear turns of brake vans, then freight turns, then traction and main line or branch line. So all this data is entered by the staff in the format. In South Central, we have an access form, and all this data, raw data, is entered, and then each division at the end of the month they will submit this data to the headquarters IT center. In the IT center, in the text format, in the IT center, data of all the divisions, raw data, and tabulations for zone or generated. Various parameters of like various parameters. What they will enter is all distance raw parameters they will enter. In the tabulations, we get the finished like 10 kilometers for South Central Railway, 10 kilometers for divisions, Vijayawada division, Guntur division, Then 10 kilometers for a particular section also. If you take Vijayawada to Kazipet, the particular section you will have 10 kilometers, engine kilometers, train hours, assistant required engine hours, light engine kilometers, etc. Assistant required engine kilometers is sometimes when goods are heavy. I mean, when the trains it has to carry huge load and this curvature is very steep. So they require the assistance of extra engines. So when that engines is used to push or pull, we call it as a second engine or third engine. If both are used, we call it as assistant required. So after if the engines are not used, we call it as assistant not required. Generally, what happens, our traffic is one directional. So when load is being pulled to that direction, we use the services of one or two extra engines, and after unloading that, then it comes back. Generally, when and it is empty, we don't require the services of other two engines. So that we call it as assistant not required engine hours. Then light engine hours, engine running on its own, like without any attachment of wagons or vehicles. We call that as light engine kilometers. When 2 or 3 engines are attached, we call it triple light engine hours. We take the light distance of all the 3 engines. Then loaded wagon kilometers. Suppose if you have 50 wagons, if you load 40 wagons, then the 40 wagons will be loaded wagon kilometers and 10 wagons will be empty wagon kilometers. Entire train sometimes will have the entire train, most of the times it will be loaded wagon kilometers, or entire train will be empty wagon kilometers. Then NTCAMs is distance. NTCAMs is distance into number of tons that is loaded into the wagon. Suppose the train has 40 wagons, and in those 40 wagons you load some 5,000 tons. But 5,000 into, say, it travels a distance of 100 kilometers. 5,000 into 100, that is 50,000 will be the NTKMs. So GTKMs are 2 times, including weight of engine and excluding weight of engine. So GTKMs means you take the tear ton of the vehicle wagons also. That is weight of the wagon into account. You are loading 5,000 tons, and per wagon it is some 23 tons average, comes to 23 tons or something like that. And if you add all the wagons, 50 into 23, if you have 50 wagons, 50 into 23 plus NTKM 5,000 into 100. 50 into 23 into 100, that is 50 wagons and 23 tons of each wagon and 100 kilometers plus NTKMs. 5,000 tons are loading, 5,000 into 100. So that we call it as GTKMs, including weight of engine. If you take the weight of engine, that is all including weight of engine. And if you are not using the weight of engine, that is called excluding weight of engine. Maybe commercial statistics. Sorry, we have one gross earning statement. This gross earning statement is prepared 3 times in a month. That is 1 to 10, 11 to 20, and 21st to the end of the month. So the basic document is commercial 675. That is in South Central it is called commercial 675. Each railway will be having their own numbers. In the commercial 675, each and every station they will send the details of number of passengers, their earnings. Then that is class wise. That is which class? That is sleeper class, mail express, second ordinary, both for suburban and non-suburban traffic. Then with TCTT, they will also furnish the TCTT earnings. TCTT they will furnish number of passengers penalized and what is the fare recovered from them, and then penalty levied on them. In case of penalty, that will go to other coaching earnings, and unbooked luggage. Suppose unbooked luggage, that is its meaning itself, and then they levy fare for the luggage. Then they will send the details of miscellaneous other coaching earnings. Miscellaneous other coaching include platform tickets, earning from platform ticket and the clerkage. Then they have apart from parcel office, we will get luggage, HCD, then parcel, then storage earnings, that is cloakroom, then under charges. Then from goods side, we have goods earnings, wharfage and demurrage. Then miscellaneous goods earnings, that is when our engines work in some sidings, etc., we get that miscellaneous. Per hour, there are charges, how much we have to recover, that is called miscellaneous goods earnings. And sundry earnings. So sundry earnings is like the retiring room ticket, all license fee, license parking fees, then for catering and the retiring room charges and so on. All these are all sent every 10 days to statistical branch. The statistical branch, these figures are compared for the division and zone. So in this statement, the PRS number of PRS passengers and earnings are not furnished. There are two ways to send this statement. We call it telegraphic reports and express letter. So in the telegraphic report, we show number of passenger earnings, then other coaching earnings. Passenger earnings, number of passengers. That is, we don't show class wise. Then other coaching earnings, then total coaching earnings, then sundry earnings, goods earnings, and total earnings. Then we have one more statement, express letter. In the express letter, we have two parts. Part one is originating earnings, and part two is originating passengers. And in this, we include number of PRS passengers and PRS earnings. Then, so in telegraphic report, there is no class-wise earnings and there is no class-wise number of passengers. But in express letter, we show class-wise earnings and class-wise number of passengers, and we show it for the current period and from current period to end of the period. Like from 1st April to this is suppose we sent the last statement on 25th. So 1st April to 20th October. So this we show this for the current year and for previous year also. This is for both suburban and non-suburban earnings. Similarly, we will show it for sundry earnings, goods earnings, and total earnings. And at the end of the month, we furnish if any variation is there, significant variation, avoid the variation. Of course, if you need huge variation is that the reasons for the variation. Okay, I just saw this. What is train hours? So the train hours is nothing but suppose a train starts its journey from point and to end of the journey, from the beginning to the end of the journey. That is called train hours. The train starts from Secunderabad to Vijayawada, starts at 1 o'clock and suppose it goes to 8 o'clock in the evening at Vijayawada. That 8 hours is train hours. And then NTKMs train hours एक गाड़ी कहाँ से निकल रहा और जहाँ उसका डेस्टिनेशन है वो उस टाइम का हिसाब अपन ट्रेन आवर्स करके बोलते हैं। एनटीकेएम्स क्या है बोले तो एनटीकेएम्स में अपन जितना भी माल भरी जाती है तो वेट ऑफ goods loaded into the wagons that we call it as NTKMs and into distance. Suppose आप 5000 टन्स वेट डाल रहे एक माल डिब्बा गाड़ी में और 100 किलोमीटर जा रहा 100 किलोमीटर का डिस्टेंस तो 5000 इंटू 100 किलोमीटर तो उसका 50,000 NTKMs होता। अगर आप वो माल डिब्बा का वेट भी लेते माल डिब्बा का वेट लेते अगर आप एक गाड़ी में 50 माल डिब्बा तक है तो 50 इंटू और डिस्टेंस 100 क्या 5000 होता 5000 इंटू कितना माल गाड़ी आपका कितना डिस्टेंस कितना टेयर टन एक किसका 23 टन होता 23 इंटू 50 इंटू 100 23 करके आपका 10 टन किलोमीटर है खाली माल गाड़ी का माल डिब्बा का वजन है और 50 करके कितना माल डिब्बा है और 100 डिस्टेंस है इसको अपन तीनों को और प्लस एनटीकेएम्स को ऐड करने को विल गेट इट एज जीटीकेएम्स ट्रेन आवर इंजन अगर एक गाड़ी 100 किलोमीटर जाता अगर उसमें 3 इंजन है सब सेकेंडरी टू काजीपेट वो 100 किलोमीटर 100 किलोमीटर का तो 3 इंजन है तो भी ट्रेन आवर्स खाली 100 किलोमीटर 3 घंटा में जाता। सो अपन ट्रेन आवर्स खाली 3 घंटा आता ट्रेन के आवर्स। अगर आप इंजन आवर्स लिए तो 3 तो 9 आवर्स 9 आवर्स आता। इसी तरह किलोमीटर्स भी, अगर आप ट्रेन किलोमीटर्स, एक गाड़ी 100 किलोमीटर जाता, ट्रेन किलोमीटर्स क्या कि 100 किलोमीटर आता, कितना दूरी जाता। इंजन किलोमीटर्स उसमें 3 या 4 इंजन, 2 या 3 इंजन है, तो कितना इंजन है उसका हिसाब से अपन इंजन किलोमीटर लेते हैं। अगर एक गाड़ी में 1 इंजन है तो इंजन किलोमीटर और ट्रेन किलोमीटर दो भी एक ही रहता। अगर एक गाड़ी में 2 इंजन या 3 इंजन है तो ट्रेन किलोमीटर खाली 100 किलोमीटर रहता एक गाड़ी का। इंजन किलोमीटर अगर 2 इंजन है तो 200 किलोमीटर, अगर 3 इंजन है तो 300 किलोमीटर। और इंजन आवर्स भी, अगर एक गाड़ी 100 किलोमीटर 3 घंटा में जाता, ट्रेन आवर्स क्या कि 3 घंटा रहता। अगर इंजन किलोमीटर 2 इंजन है तो 6 घंटा और 3 इंजन है तो 9 घंटा, 9 आवर्स। और 7A गुड्स रेवेन्यू स्टैटिस्टिक्स है, और ये बेसिक डॉक्यूमेंट्स गुड्स इनवॉइस है, और ये डॉक्यूमेंट पॉइंट्स का हिसाब से पॉइंट्स से निकला जाता है। Basic document is goods invoice and data is extracted twice. This statement is furnished once in a month and target date is 4th of the following month. So basically the goods data is extracted by the traffic accounts office from the voice, and it is compared with the invoices sent to traffic accounts office. And it is suppose if any changes are there, there is one error sharing app in voice. That error sharing on this thing, whatever corrections are made manually in the invoice, that correction is carried out and again it is sent to voice. So voice, after taking the corrections into account, statement number 7A is furnished. So basically 7A will have number of commodities are 950 or grouped into 12 selected this time, and the following information: coal for steel plants, coal for washeries, coal for thermal powerhouses, coal for public use, raw material for steel plant, pig iron and finished steel from steel plant, iron ore for exports, then cement, food grains, fertilizers, mineral oils, balance other goods. Here, all these are shown, and originating earnings are reported from gross earnings. It is compared, and any variation why it is this thing. Basically, this statement will have 4 important information: number of wagons, number of tonnage loaded, tonnage kilometers, NT kilometers, and earnings. Then we have 7B, 7A and 7B almost are similar, but in 7B both revenue and non-revenue earnings are shown, and it is as a following commodity number of commodities are grouped into 8, whereas in 7A it is 12. Here they are grouped into 8 major groups, that is products of agriculture, animals and products of animals, products of mines, mineral oils, products of forests, the manufactured items, miscellaneous revenue traffic, and total revenue traffic. So here also number of wagons, tonnage kilometers, and rate of show. So next is then we have commodity loading statistics. So 7A and 7B is based on originating. This commodity 7C is based on apportion basis. So that is earnings are apportioned on the basis of distance traveled in each railway. Suppose I have a train which starts in South Central Railway and it goes to Central Railway. So out of 1,000 kilometers, it is traveling some 400 kilometers in our railway and 600 kilometers in central railway. So earnings are bifurcated on the basis of distance traveled in each railway. That is, if it is earnings are say some 1 lakh is earned, that 1 lakh is distributed in the ratio 4:6. That is 400:600. That is that is some 40,000 will come to South Central Railway and 60,000 will go to Central Railway. That because 40,000 has traveled in the Southern Railway. So similarly, sometimes what happens is the train starts from say from Southern Railway, it goes to Central Railway, it touches South Central Railway, and goes to Central Railway. So in this case, the distance of 3 railways are taken into account: Southern Railway, South Central Railway, and Central Railway. So based on this, earnings are divided on the basis of respective kilometers traveled in each railway. So this also the earlier individual railways used to compile this statement and send it to the counterparts in other railways. Similarly, we used to receive from other railways and we club both together. Now after Chris has taken over, entire thing is being done in voice. So this is also done for the 8th this thing as for 7B. Products of agriculture, animals and products of animals, products of mines, minerals, products of forests, manufactured items, miscellaneous revenue traffic, then coal and diesel, that is non-revenue, general stores and materials. The following information is sent for the 7C statement. Tonnage originating, tonnage transshipped, that is from broad gauge to mid gauge or mid gauge to broad gauge. Nowadays it's almost non-existent. Then tonnage terminating, how much tons is terminated in the railways. That is at the end of the journey. Tonnage carried, how much that is tonnage originating, transshipped, terminating, all it is called tonnage carried. Tonnage cross traffic. Cross traffic is it's either originates in your railway, not terminates in the railway, just passes over like from Southern Railway it goes to Central Railway. What are all the distance in South Central Railway? That is tonnage cross traffic, 20 kilometers, that is NTKMs. Distance traveled in each railway into weight that is passes through that railway. Then earnings, so average rate per ton and average rate. Then 6A statement, it is it's also called passenger revenue statistics. So basically, in this we show suburban and non-suburban number of passengers class wise and earnings class wise. The due date is 10th of the following month. The earnings are bifurcated on the basis of distance traveled in each railway by Chris. Earlier, the bifurcation was done by the home railway and that was sent to the respective railways, and railways also received the similar information. The home railway figures are then added to the figures received from other railways to get a consolidated figure. And earnings are bifurcated on the basis of distance traveled in each railway. So while bifurcating the earnings, only base fare is taken into account. That is, if the ticket is 100 rupees, the ticket is 120 rupees and base fare is 100 rupees. Only that 100 rupees is bifurcated between different railways on the basis of distance traveled in each railway. Then, and also 5% of basic fare. Of course, for if it is 100 rupees is basic fare, and 5% is kept by the home railway. That is where the passengers are originating. That is because of they have to provide some inquiry services and all. So 5%. So the total ticket fare is 125 and base fare is 100. Then the 5% is kept by the home railway. That is if it originates in South Central. It's fine. South Central will keep that 5 rupees. So that 95 rupees is bifurcated between different railways. If it goes to Central Railway, based on the distance, whatever distance it travels, and Central Railway and Southern Railway, sorry, Southern Railway, on the ratio of distance traveled in that particular railway. So it will have number of originating passengers, how many passengers are originated, number of season tickets. So if it is a monthly season ticket, 50 passengers are accounted. If it is quarterly, 150 passengers are accounted, and if it is half yearly, 300, and if it is annual, 600 passengers are accounted. Then number of passengers carried. Number of passengers carried, that is number of passengers originating, number of passengers received from other railway, and number of passengers passing through this railway, that is we call it as that is passing through, that is they neither originate nor terminate but simply passed over it. We call that as number of passengers carried. Passenger kilometers, number of passengers into distance traveled in that particular railway. Then earnings from passengers carried. So all this number of, we show it for class wise. So for if it is number of originating passengers, we show it for suburban, non-suburban, then class wise, that is first AC, second AC, third AC, AC chair car, mail, sleeper class, sleeper express, sleeper ordinary, mail express, then second ordinary, both for reserved and unreserved portion. ఇప్పుడు క్లోజ్ చేయండి. Next, we go to operating ratio. Operating ratio is the ratio of working expenses to gross earnings expressed in terms of percentage. It is expressed in the following formula. Working expenses by gross earnings into 100. That is to earn basically it means to earn 100 rupees. What is the working? How much expenditure we are incurring? So for the year 2019-20. For South Central Railway, it was 87.55. That is to 100 rupees in South Central Railway. We have spent around 87.55 rupees. To 100 rupees, how much we have to spend? So that includes the operating ratio. Operating ratio tends to increase with increase in expenditure and decrease in earnings. The operating ratio will show efficiency with the reduction in expenditure and increase in earnings. Then administration to that is all right. It is decided, the recent committee was decided the expenditure of railways mostly on staff matters will consist of 60%. And all the remaining districts are 40%. Then basically this operating ratio, we should not compare the operating ratio of say South Central Railway with some one railway with other railway. Suppose if you take the operating ratio of South Central Railway, it's around 87.55. And if you take the operating ratio of Echo Railway, it will be around 65 or 66. And if you take North Frontier Railway, it will be around 320, 330 like that. So you should not compare the railway of operating ratio of one railway with another railway, and then that railway is not efficient. So it depends on much more factors. And basically wherever there are a lot of goods loading is there, their operating ratio tends to be very good. So if you take North Front Railway, operate the goods loading is very, very less, and so the operating cost will be more. And generally, if you take North Front Railway as an example, compare North Front Railway as this thing, So North Central Railway is a hilly area. So all that this thing, because of hilly area, more engines are required to all the trains, and also it will result in increase in fuel expenditure, and mostly the gauge, single gauge, a single line it is. So it requires more time. There are more stops. So the expenditure tend to be very heavy. Also due to security reason, for all the important trains, you have a pilot engine. So all this tend to increase the earning. All this tend to increase the expenditure. But then all this will increase their expenditure without any fault of this, because of their geographical location. They have inherited because there are not much goods or manufacturing industries located, so that so the goods movement is very less. So all this will result in the increase in expenditure in that particular line. So whether they are improvement or deterioration, they have to compare with the previous year. They should compare with the previous year. Suppose for 2019-20, what is the ratio was 2018-19, and whether there is improvement or deterioration. So to stop sharing, is it? Somebody asked about the wagon mobility. We say in this, what is wagon turbo? So wagons are most important resources available with this thing, and we have to use it to the maximum. And wagon so that we get very good earnings. Wagon should be loaded in order to make optimum utilization of wagons. Wagon should be loaded as much as possible within the maximum permissions load. Wagon should move as much as possible. That is, mobility should be higher, and there should not be undue detention at any places of detention. And wagon should be in good condition. So wagon is it. Basically, we compare two statistics: wagon load statistics and wagon mobility statistics. These two items are available in statement number 2 and statement number 3A, compared by the statistical branch. So average starting wagon load is one of the items. The first is wagon load. Whether the wagon is loaded optimally or not will be known by the two factors that is compiled in the statistical branch. Average starting wagon, that is net tons loaded, how much tonnage we are loading, and number of wagons we are utilized. So you get average starting wagon load, number of tons loaded, and number of wagons utilized. Then we have average wagon, that is how much average starting load. It shows the wagon load, whether we are making good use of it by loading the wagons. Then we have average wagon load during run. It is compiled by net ton kilometers, empty km by loaded wagon kilometers. So this will get average starting wagon load. We get a good idea of whether we are loading the wagon optimally by comparing with the previous year or previous month and so on. And if there is any decrease, we should see why it has decreased. Then we have wagon mobility. In that wagon mobility, we compared 3 items: wagon kilometers per wagon day. Wagon kilometers per wagon day is the number average distance traveled by a wagon in a single day. That is, suppose if it is 300, if the figure is 300, that means we are moving the wagon around 300 kilometers per day. So this, the higher the figure, the better the result. Then we have NT kms per wagon day. So now net 10 kilometers by number of wagons, number of wagon days. So this is the best unit for calculating the efficiency. This NTKs per wagon day shows both wagon mobility and wagon load statistics. Then we have wagon turnover, average turn, that is effective stock loading, loaded plus loaded distance. Time taken for a wagon to load, unload, and reload, and this is the destination. See, a time interval between two successive loadings. This we call it as wagon turnover. It is expressed in terms of number of days. So for South Central Railway, it's around 2.5 or 2.6. So for wagon turns, average wagon turnover is 2.7, 2.6, that is 2.5 days. So loading, unloading, and then next loading. The time interval between two successive loadings. You are requested that only 1 hour for every day class may be fixed for smooth attendance. This is for as far as wagon this thing is concerned. Then vehicle kilometers, the vehicle number of average number of we compare one vehicle load statistics, average number of passengers per vehicle, that passenger kilometers by vehicle kilometers. We get average number of passengers per vehicle and occupation ratio, passengers kilometers by seat kilometers, that is passenger kilometers and number of seats available in that. You get, suppose you get whether it is overcrowded or under this thing. Then you get vehicle for vehicle mobility statistics, vehicle kilometers per vehicle day, vehicle kilometers by vehicle days online. You get vehicle kilometers. That is, if it is around 1,000 kilometers or 400, 500 or so on. This vehicle kilometers. Then train usage statistics, train load statistics. Average number of wagons per train. So how much more wagons are able to load, that much better the performance. So you take total wagon kilometers and divided by total goods kilometers, goods train kilometers. You get average number of wagons per train. Then you have net tons per train. So NTKs by goods trains. So how much tonnage is being loaded per train. Then gross tons per train. That is GTKs by goods train kilometers. Then average speed of goods train. Train kilometers by train hours. Then we have productive and unproductive services. And in working of railway, unproductive services cannot be avoided, but we have to see to it that it is as less as possible, as minimum as possible. Generally, train kilometers and loaded wagon kilometers and wagon kilometers are considered productive. And in terms of revenue, net ton kilometers and train engine hour are productive. All other kilometers are listing are unproductive. So we have empty wagon kilometers, light running, shunting, then departmental are all not productive because if no revenue is earned in that. So we to check the whether the services to check the productive and unproductive services following this thing statistics are prepared. Shunting engines per 100 train kilometers. For every 100 train kilometers, what is the ratio of shunting engine kilometers? Similarly, light engine kilometers per 100 train kilometers. For every 100 train kilometers, what is the proportion of light engine kilometers? Then light and ANR kilometers. Light and assisted nautical kilometers for every 100 train kilometers. For every 100 train kilometers, what is the proportion of light and ANR combined together? Then percentage of what these three are called unproductive service because no revenue is earned from them. Then item 4 and 5 as productive. Consider productive services. Percentage of train engine hours to total engine hours. Only train engine hours is considered productive, and all other engine hours are considered as unproductive. So, if a train out of total engine hours, the train engine hours is high, then the train engine hours is considered productive. But the only thing in this is the train engine hours should not increase due to reduction in speed. So when you compare this item, you have to see along with average speed of the train, average speed of that particular zone. If the speed decreases and train engine hours are increasing, then it is considered as not productive. Then out of then percentage of loaded wagon kilometers to total wagon kilometers. So only loaded wagon kilometers is productive. So if the percentage of loaded wagon kilometers is more compared to total wagon kilometers, then it is better. It is compared to the previous year's figure for month and February. Then we'll see about annual statement number 15. ANR kilometers is assistant not required kilometers. Suppose if a train is running and if two engines are attached to it, if both the engines are working, we call it the first engine is engine kilometers and second one we call is assistant required. Second engine also is used. Generally, if for a particular destination of and a particular destination, if all the wagons are loaded and both the engines are used, so and second engine also is used, we call it as assistant required engine hours. So generally all our traffic is unidirectional, that is one side it is loaded and when it comes back it is mostly empty. So while going we use the services of second engine for either pushing or pulling. So that is called assistant required. And when it is coming back, say it is empty, second engine power of second engine is not required. But since to save path, we keep the train as it is and return to the starting point, destination, wherever the next load is to be required. Since you are not using the services of second engine, but it is attached to the train, we call it as assistant not required engine kilometers. Then we go to statement number 15, but before going to statement number 15, we'll see what are all the demand we have, and like this, all our expenditure is based on demands from 1 to 15. So 1 and 2 is generally for railway board's expenditure and miscellaneous. So for each zonal railways, the expenditure starts from demand number 52 and 15 to 14. Now, because the central government has taken over, we did not pay any dividend to loans taken by general to the central government. So now even demand number 15 is not is not required. So from demand number 3 to 14. So demand number is General Superintendent Services on railways. We call it as subtract A. Then repairs and maintenance of permanent way, we call it as subtract B. Repairs and maintenance of motive powers locos, that is subtract C. Repairs and maintenance of carriage and wagon, subtract D. Repairs and maintenance of plant and equipment, subtract E. Repairs, operating expenses, rolling stock and equipment, subtract F. Operating expenses, traffic, that is subtract G. Then operating expenses, that is for both the fuel and power consumption, that is subtract H. Staff welfare and miscellaneous, that is subtract J. Miscellaneous working expenses, that is security, etc., that is subtract K. 13. The provident fund, pension and other retirements, that is subtract K. And apportionment to various funds, that is subtract K. All our expenditure is based on this demand number 3 to 14, and each demand or abstract pertains to particular working of a particular department. So now we state number 15. When all this expenditure is given by the abstract demand number 3 to 14 or abstract A to M is given by to the statistical plans from accounts expenditure section. In that expenditure section, you don't have a bifurcation between coaching and goods. How do you bifurcate? So they only give the expenditure, and expenditure they gave it subhead wise, like A111, A112, A113, A122, and so on. All this has to be bifurcated between coaching and goods. To bifurcate this between coaching and goods, Railway Board has given clear instruction how we should bifurcate this between passenger and goods services. Based on all operating factors, like if we take total engine hours, the total engine hours, we have how much total out of the total engine hours, how much is used for coaching, that is passenger services, goods and shunting. Then GTKMs, how much is the passenger GTKMs and how much is the goods GTKMs, and ratio between passenger and goods GTKMs. Similarly, engine hours, engine kilometers, number of locos, then shunting engine hours, total engine kilometers, wagon and vehicle kilometers. All this we take a ratio between passenger and goods, and there we use this ratio for bifurcating the expenditure between passenger and goods. So there are some heads like my salaries or your salaries, like accounts or GM office and all, where it cannot be bifurcated between passenger and goods, because they don't have, because we don't know how much we work for passenger, how much for goods, how much we work for goods. So in that ratio we arrive at overhead ratio. Overhead ratio is nothing but how much ever expenditure is able, we are able to bifurcate directly between passenger and goods. That expenditure we bifurcate it between passenger and goods. So remaining those which cannot be bifurcated, we use the ratio from where we will bifurcate directly between passenger and goods, and that ratio we will apply to the ratios overhead ratio where we cannot bifurcate. Like if you see abstract A, generally pertains to the working of GM department and all. Here we cannot be bifurcated. Here we have used overhead ratio. That is the ratio arrived at all other abstracts where it is possible to bifurcate directly. Like if you see abstract C, here we are able to bifurcate the C. If you take C111, you are able to bifurcate the expenditure between coaching, goods, and shunting. The ratio of 2:6:0.07 or something else, as we showed it in fundamental units, sir. Then we have abstract B is there that pertains to engineering department, and one particular item 200 we bifurcated by ETKMs. ETKMs is nothing but equator track kilometers. Kilometers of a track equated to a standard unit by taking the parameters of rainfall, then the climate, then gradient, then density of traffic. That is GTKMs. We work out ETKMs. So this item is worked out by the engineering department, and basically this ETKMs is required compiled section wise, and it is used for ascertaining number of gangmen required for maintenance of the track and also for replacement of the track. Suppose if ETKMs is high, the track has to be replaced much more frequently, and the number of gangmen also required to be high. Number of gangmen required to maintain the track also should be more. Abstract B is pertaining to engineering department. Abstract B. So similarly, we will bifurcate all the abstract. So abstract A, then we bifurcate abstract B, then C, D. Then abstract E. Abstract E pertains to representation, plant and equipment. Then F, then abstract G. H pertains to fuel. How much expenditure is incurred for fuel for both diesel? 200 is diesel and 300 is electric. So after we bifurcate all this abstract, then we have one DRF. Appreciation to DRF. DRF is depreciation reserve funds. For every asset we purchase, we apportion a small amount for DRF, so that after, suppose if we purchase an engine and engine, so life is 30 years or 25 years. So after the expiry of it, we should be able to purchase a new engine, including any advanced features such this thing. So for every asset we have purchased, we have apportioned a small amount for DRF. It is for also on the expiry of its working or something, we should be able to purchase a new engine. So that is called depreciation reserve fund. We do it for all locos, all engineering department, etc., carriages, wagons, etc. So that also is taken as a part of expenditure. So generally we have expenditure like this: working expenses, then depreciation reserve fund, and then abstract wise. Then we prepare the annual statistical statement. This is one of the most important statements. So based on this statement only, traffic costing work is done. So for South Central Railway, if we take 1819 and we compare it with 1920, so our total working expenses is this much. So total working expenses in that coaching is around 1668, 16,688, 687 crores. And our coaching expenses are 912 crores and goods is 756 crores. And our total earnings is $1,581 crores, 50,817 crores. Then our coaching earnings is 577 and goods earnings is 10,000, so 5,773 crores, and goods earnings is 10,044 crores. So if you take the average earnings, suppose if a train travels for 1 kilometer for passenger trains travels for 1 kilometer, including Mail Express, Suburban, AC, non-AC, all put together. So our average earnings for 2019 for one train, if it runs for 1 kilometer, was 753 rupees, and our expenditure is 1190. That is for every kilometer we run a train for 1 kilometer. Our expenditure, our loss is 437 rupees. So if we run a passenger train for 1 kilometer, this passenger trains include all Rajdhani, Shatabdi, Mail Express, second ordinary, suburban trains, all put together. So we lose around 437 rupees, 437 rupees. So then similarly for each vehicle, just one coach, so we lose around 12 rupees. But if on the other hand, if you take a goods into account, so for goods train travels for 1 kilometer, you earn 2,760 rupees. For 1 kilometer, if you are running goods train, you earn 2,760. Our expenditure is 2,079. So your 2079, and you earn a profit of 681 rupees. For every kilometer you run a goods train, you earn a profit of 681 rupees. Similarly, for wagon, if you run a wagon, your expenditure is 60 rupees, and your earnings is 60 rupees, and your cost is 45. So you earn 50 rupees. So you earn around 15 rupees. So if you run a wagon for 1 kilometer, you earn around 15 rupees. And if you carry 1 ton, if you move 1 ton for 1 kilometer, your earnings is 1.61 and your expenditure is 1.2, so earn about 40 paisa. So this is this we do it. We do it for all the taxes put together, diesel and electric. But we after this we give this to the traffic costing section. In the traffic costing section, they will analyze it in much more detail. They will do it for traction wise, and that is diesel and electric, and also they work out for in case of passenger, they work it out class wise, that is first AC, second AC, for Mail and Express. Particular whatever the study is given by railway board for that particular, they work out in much more detail this thing. And so this is one of the most important checklists. We are showing a profitability of railways. And it is compared only once in a year. So similarly, as I told you, this statement, you should not compare one railway with other railway, because Southern Railway we have reasonably good goods earnings. This thing is goods earnings. This thing is more better. But if we take Southern Railway or railways which don't have much goods earnings, then this thing both passenger and goods will be showing in loss. When in goods also you should have heavy commodities like coal or iron ore movement. Whenever you have coal or iron ore or all mineral movement, there you have goods earnings, and your earnings will be better. Passengers, we lose most of on all the railways except for third AC. We are losing on all the railways. In fact, in one committee report we have prepared, 60% of all the second AC passenger trains is available by pass holders, railway pass holders. So except for third AC, all other classes are running in loss. So these are all the monthly statistics, statistical statement that is submitted to regular board every month. 1 year statement, it includes punctuality statistics. Then 1B is passenger train performance, then is vehicle kilometers, then train kilometers, train hours, etc. Then 2 and 3 is goods train performance, that is goods train kilometers, goods engine kilometers, wagon kilometers per wagon day, NT camps per wagon day, the NT camps per wagon day, etc. Then 3B is goods train performance. 4th is rolling stock performance, that is the train per train usage. So what is the train average kilometers of train running per day, etc. Then 4B is rolling stock carriage and wagon performance, and 5A is fuel performance. Fuel statistics, 5B is lubricating, then 6A is passenger, 6B is parcels, then 7A, 7B, 7C is goods revenue statistics, and part 8, statement number 8 is EMU and demo performance. Then these are all the annual statements that is submitted to railway board from each from all zonal railways. Financial result, capital charge, capital outlay, working expenses, gross earnings. Then all the statements can just go to rolling stock, service net additions, passenger revenue statistics, goods revenue statistics. This passenger revenue statistics and goods revenue statistics nothing but cumulative statement number 6A and 7C. And 13, 15. We'll finish the topic. Have a good day.
So your class is over, sir? You're done?
Class is over.
Okay, you have any doubts, please raise your hand. Okay, there is one, Mr. Epshita Gupta. Yeah, you're unmuted now. Please, you can ask your query.
Sir,
Yes,
good afternoon.
Yes, please.
Sir, advantage of tri-monthly approx earning, sir?
Advantages, it is used basically to at the time of preparation of the budget. So it is prepared at the end of February this year. We'll have January earnings. We'll just have to approximate for February and March. That is the first information regarding earnings, sir. I mean the estimated earnings, sir.
Okay, thank you, sir.
Any other queries, please? If you have any queries, please raise your hand. Sir, there are some queries in the chat box.
Yeah, I have answered everything, whatever what was there.
Right.
I answered everything at that point. Frequently, I was seeing the chat box.
Okay.
And I answered it then and there.
Okay, then shall we conclude the class, sir?
Yeah.
Okay. On behalf of the academy, I thank Sri Nagarajan, Statistical Officer, for taking up the session on traffic statistics. Thank you so much, sir. Dear participants, tomorrow we have a session at 3 o'clock. Okay, thank you all. Have a nice day.